Practically all the great artists have accepted the influence of others. But the difference lies in the fact that the artist with vision sees his material, chooses, changes, and by integrating what he has learned with his own experience, finally molds something distinctly personal. I was trying to find out what was in me that was common to other men. Romare Bearden. Romare Bearden took inspiration from nearly every place that touched his life and piqued his broad interests. From the Harlem of his youth, to Holland in the Renaissance, to Homeric Greece, to home in the Caribbean. To tell his own story, he made a sweeping cultural journey, and along the way, produced one of the major bodies of art in the 20th century. From the time it first captivated the New York art scene in the early 60s, Bearden's work has been critically embraced and collected nationwide. It is a living art in a profusion of media, from gouache to watercolors, monotypes, projections, and above all, collage. At every turn, the rich tapestry of artistic sources unfolds. European painting, Chinese landscape, Byzantine art, Dada, abstract expressionism, African masks, all combining in a style uniquely Bearden. The forms bear witness to his experience. Pittsburgh in the 20s, Paris in the 50s, his roots in North Carolina, family ritual, myth, and memory. Two things are essential to good painting: that there be a communion of belief and desire between artist and spectator, and that the artist be able to see and say something that enriches the fund of communicable feeling. Bearden's sense of community came early, from a boyhood during the Harlem Renaissance, which his parents helped to lead. His mother, the first black woman ever elected to New York City's school board, held regular salons in the house for leading intellectuals, where Romare met the likes of Langston Hughes and W.E.B. Du Bois. Working in his studio at the Apollo Theater in the company of greats like Duke Ellington, Billie Holiday, Earl Hines, and others, Bearden let the blues and jazz infuse his work. Visitors to his studios uptown and downtown might just as often find him reading as making art. Fast friends with up-and-coming literary figures Ralph Ellison and Albert Murray, he read widely and deeply, filling notebooks with his thoughts. His published writings were boundless, from journalism on social issues to collaborations on art theory, histories of African American artists, poetry, and children's books he both illustrated and authored. Bearden was a humanist, intent on engaging the world at all levels. He was a scholar, for decades a full-time caseworker for the New York City Department of Social Services, trained mathematician, cartoonist, set and costume designer for modern dance, semi-professional ball player, jazz lyricist, even one-time hit songwriter, activist, institution builder. As a working artist, he found himself at the epicenter of movements, both to champion the point of view of black artists and later promote the universal nature of their contribution. Yet to be effective, Bearden knew that circles of support were key. He co-founded Cinque Gallery, the Harlem Artists Guild, and the Spiral Group, and helped establish the Studio Museum in Harlem, all dedicated to the professional development of black artists. To Bearden, support meant above all nurturing the creativity of black artists and providing opportunities for their inclusion in museums and galleries. This priority would take on a second life in the work of the Romare Bearden Foundation. Begun in 1990 at the provision he had made in his will 10 years before, the foundation is one of the oldest established by an African American visual artist. Recently, from its new home in Midtown Manhattan, and thanks to the commitment of Nanette Bearden's family, its board of directors and staff, the foundation's vision has widened to a major canvas. In 2004, the Romare Bearden Homecoming Celebration galvanized New York City over the course of 7 months with a full roster of events, including readings, dance, exhibitions, and workshops citywide. For half a year, New York City was Bearden. The Foundation's Cinque Artist program seeks to assist artists at various stages of their careers by funding scholarships for younger artists and travel stipends for practicing artists. On college and university campuses across America, the Bearden National Symposium Series advances critical new scholarship to assess and reassess Bearden's art and life. In 2003, the retrospective of Bearden's work at the National Gallery of Art in Washington was the first ever devoted to an African American artist, a show that toured nationwide. Others now being developed by the Foundation will tour nationally and internationally. As a resource, the Foundation's ongoing role is to preserve the artist's library, archives, and art, making them accessible to all. Exhibition catalogs and symposium-related publications are being produced, working toward the crowning goal of a catalogue raisonné to fully document Bearden's prodigious body of work. To empower this legacy and make the real difference Bearden stood for, the Foundation will need public and private support, the kind that helped make the completion of Romare Bearden in the Classroom possible. This comprehensive new visual arts curriculum, the cornerstone of the Foundation's arts education initiative, has proven so successful in its debut at the Art Institute of Chicago that the materials are now going out to school districts and educators nationwide. Its dynamic coursework helps children of this and future generations come to know and be inspired by Bearden's art and to recognize the contributions of African American artists to American culture. Young artists, carried on the wings of spontaneity and enthusiasm, are often the innovators and heralds of new styles. But in the old age of the truly gifted artist, unique and wonderful things often occur. Secure in his space and structure, he is at one with the world that he was born into and that world of difficulties he has overcome, and can now be seen for what he truly represents.